morning. Guess what today is? Tuesday morning transformation, right? What's that about? It's about being a spiritual being walking in a physical body. It's the hologram. We go through this every time, right? What's our perspective? Is it humanity or divinity? Because actually we're both spirit, mind, body. And can we go through the physical life with a spiritual consciousness? So again, I just talk about what I'm going through in my life and what I'm understanding to raise consciousness, and hopefully this brings something to you. And today is about life happens for you, not to you. It happens for you. Now, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, but what this message may do is remind you, bring back to your mind that we can walk through life with a spiritual consciousness. So, as a spiritual being in a physical body, we have a soul purpose, S-O-U-L. We have a soul purpose, and as we fulfill that, we're going to run into challenges. In fact, our soul purpose, our goal and our vision should be so big that we actually need God to fulfill it. Because if we could do it ourselves, we wouldn't need Him, right? We wouldn't need the help of other spirits. But is that why we're really here? Or do we have a vision to impact the lives of ourselves and others that's so big we actually need His help and the help of other spirits He brings into our life to do something so amazing, right? And it's not the number of people you affect, it's how you affect them. But along that path, we're going to run into challenges. There is no question. I mean, we are human, a spiritual being in a human body walking through a physical world, so we run into challenges. But see, do you walk by faith? See, there's a great quote. It says, there's faith and fear. You can't see either of them, so which do you choose? That's in our mind, right? And in our heart and our spirit. So we're going to run into challenges, but when we operate by faith, when we operate and have a consciousness towards our divinity, then we can realize things are already aligning in the spirit world. God has our path. We focus on the end and we enjoy the process. That was a couple Tuesdays ago. Last week we learned to surrender and put it at His feet so He can take care of it, so we can get out of fear and get into faith. But see, God will not remove the challenges. In fact, those challenges can pile up, and to where we can feel, if we're not in that faith and we don't already know that He's already worked it out, then we get stuck in fear and overwhelm and all these problems, when in reality, God is using these challenges to not only to build our faith, but to be a witness to other people, right? Where the conditions in the world could be so overwhelming, where everybody else goes, oh my God, how are they doing it? And then all of a sudden, a miracle. Well, what's a miracle? Is it something unexpected? Or is it really a miracle if it's something you expect? If it's something you intend? If it's something you have faith toward? Is that a miracle? Or is a miracle something you're so surprised? But you're surprised because we didn't know, we didn't have the faith, God's working it out in the spirit world first, regardless of what we see now. So, many people have been through many challenges, right? You go to the Old Testament, Moses is sitting there with the Egyptian at his back and the Red Sea at the front. There's no question God parted the Red Sea. Everybody knows, right? God parted the Red Sea. It was so big, there's not a question. Right? It says in the Bible that, in the Old Testament, that God hardened the Pharaoh's hearts. So there was 7 plagues. Right? The Nile turned to blood, there was locusts, there was frogs, there was all these things, plagues that happened, right? So it was so obvious. Pharaoh did not bow down to Moses, he bowed down to God that Moses prayed to. See, it says in Deuteronomy to be so, I'm paraphrasing, so obvious that our God is so powerful that people will be afraid. It's not about fear, it's just the respect that they know God is moving with you, and it doesn't matter what you face in the world, right? When Jesus raised Lazarus, he raised him on the 4th day. Now, his sister had been asking Jesus for days, my brother's dying, will you come? But Jesus didn't come and see him. Now, the Pharisees preached that after you die, your spirit is in the body for 3 days. Why did Jesus go on the 4th day? Because when Lazarus rose and he walked around town, it was a testimony. right? How many challenges do we go through in our life where when we get through it, it's so obvious, not only to us, to build our faith, but to everybody else, that God is in your life? Do you live like that? Now, I've been near bankruptcy, and that's helped me appreciate financial abundance. I've been divorced and widowed, and that's helped me learn unconditional love. I've been physically disabled so I could study CBP and regenerate my body and then help regenerate others, and now have a coaching group that helps spread the most advanced system of chiropractic that heals people all over the world, right? So now the relationship that you may be in now, whether yourself or with another person, we have every experience that helps us move past and see the best. You know, there's intention in our life, and we have a soul purpose, and every condition is an opportunity to build your faith, is an opportunity to raise your consciousness, is an opportunity to ask the question, what am I learning on a higher consciousness as a spirit walking through the physical world? Is I may not react to these conditions, but I know God in the spirit world is aligning everything. What step may you may be nervous about, second guessing, yet you know your soul purpose is moving you in that direction? Then sometimes all we have is faith. There's times where you have nothing, but all you have is faith, and that's what carries you through. So there's some people that may be in a challenge now. How are you going to look at it? Do you believe that God's aligning in the spirit world, that you're going to move through this? I know when I've been through my greatest challenges, my mantra was, I'm turning a test, or God is turning a test into a testimony. So my life is a testimony without me even having to say anything, because there's so many people watching you when they know that you live by faith, right? And it becomes so obvious that God is moving in your life, and under any condition you're not shaken, because we have deep roots, right? We have deep spiritual roots, and life is just more joyful. So if there may be a challenge now, then let's deepen our roots. There's people that are living in peace and abundance where life is amazing, then let's perpetuate that. But peace and love and joy and God's abundance is all around us. So what do we choose to see? We don't focus on the conditions around us. We live from the inside out. So that's what I'm doing today. Hopefully that gives you a blessing. Thank you so much. I'm blessed that you watch this, and if you can help another person with this message, please share.